Alright, ready for another... Alright, we're ready for another road trips with No. Hey guys, we're ready for another Joyrides with Jordan. Today we're driving the BYD Seal Performance from Christchurch all the way through the Lewis Pass to Nelson. It's hard leaving my favourite car, the Tesla Model 3 Performance, in the window. It's not my usual Tesla, but nowadays with Elon Musk going a bit wild, corrupting democracy, we're turning to the Chinese for our freedom. God, she's a beauty. Best car ever. But just this once, let's see how the Chinese do it. Nice interior. So have a look inside. You've got a shiny BYD glossy plastic badge. See my reflection? Looking good, Jordan. You've got a screen here. You've got a heads-up display, just like on a Prius. A button here, you can do this and it somehow flips around the screen. I'm sure I'll need to do that as I'm passing through Murchison. Very fancy stuff. And even wilder, if I work my way through the menus, I don't know if I can afford to lose the energy from this, but we even have ventilated seats. Right now I'm feeling a pleasing cooling sensation. A bit like a Japanese toilet. Whew. We're going to go about 400 kilometers in a car that can do maybe 400 kilometers without charging up the middle of the Lewis Pass with very few charges and very few backup. The car seems to think it can do 580 kilometers on a charge. We only need 400, but in the real world, can it get the real 400 without stopping to charge in the middle? Famously, the Lewis Pass up the middle of the South Island, very sparse on charges. Yeah, we're going to try and make it through. We're going to try and make it through without charging anywhere. It's going to be a tough one on this Joyrides with Jordan and a BYD Seal Performance. Wish me well.
Hello, Culverden, and we've got something neat just round here, apparently just here somewhere. And check this bad boy out. We've got ourselves a new charger at the Challenge. This is on the Z network. We've got 180 kilowatts of the good stuff. Only about 80% full, 465 Ks left. 180 kilowatts of the good stuff would go down a treat.
50 kilometers south of Springs Junction itself, I'm stopped behind the firefighters at the moment. They're battling a blaze through the Lewis Pass, which closed the road overnight. And I can see helicopters in the air with monsoon buckets, visible smoke. It's quite isolated here, and if a forest fire takes hold, it really rips through the landscape. Right in the middle near Springs Junction, here to check out a very special concrete wall. Right here is where the Alpine fault goes between the two different plates. If there's an earthquake, this wall will fall over. Now that might sound like an interesting science experiment. Will the wall fall over? It hasn't to date. But if we had an emergency like when the Alpine fault goes kaboom, it would be useful to have cars like the BYD. You can actually use the BYD to provide power to your normal household appliances. You can use the BYD to keep your freezer going, or the fridge, or the microwave, I guess, if you're like 2-minute noodles made in the microwave. The BYD's a little device that plugs in, and it gives you basically a power multi-board to plug other devices into. Vehicle to load, something that the Tesla can't do, something that the BYD does. Kills me to say it, but the BYD's got an area where it's better. It's also really a big hit with bees. Bumblebees love the BYD. Can't get enough. And here we are at Springs Junction NPD. This is what we've come to see. The infamous Springs Junction fast chargers. Coming soon since about 4 years ago. And definitely in time for Christmas this year. And now it's halfway through February. 2 big fast chargers here. Running from a bunch of batteries here. There are a whole bunch of batteries inside of here. Keeps the chargers going during the day when there's not a lot of power on the local grid here. There's not enough power in Springs Junction to even add a couple more houses to the area, it seems. So overnight, these big batteries will charge up very slowly overnight. During the day, these batteries will be enough to run the charger. They've got plans to have enough to run probably about a dozen EVs can charge from them. Now, if you've been watching our EV City videos for a while now, you might remember some guy, Road Trips with Rob, back in 2020, right before the first lockdown, saying the Springs Junction charges are coming soon. Well, that hasn't quite eventuated. We're here in 2025 now, 5 years on, they're still coming soon. Passing through Murchison, we've got about 115 kilometres left to go. We've got about 219 kilometres of range, which I think should have 100k spare. But let's see what happens on the hills. After this, we've got one point of no return when we get to Kahatu. Once we get to Kahatu, it's do or die. Here we go, Kahatu, our last charging stop. This is the point of no return. We've got about 20% left. It's about 40 odd kilometres to go, about 100 kilometres predicted. Hopefully we'll have something like 50 k's left. No charging. Let's do it. Let's finish the job. Road trips with Rob, maybe it would do it. Joyrides with Jordan, we're definitely going to go all the way without charging. Well, we made it all the way to Nelson. Christchurch to Nelson, no stopping to charge, in the BYD Seal Performance. Over 400 kilometres, and the car made it with a whopping 6% left over, 30 odd kilometres spare. Probably I'd want to stop and have a charge next time I do it, but it shows it's possible, and it's our first car which can go Christchurch to Nelson without stopping. Has it converted me away from my beloved Tesla? Well, I do like the front-facing camera, the ventilated seats, the vehicle to load, but being honest, the Model 3 Performance is still my favourite car around. But it does go to show it's worth sort of experimenting from time to time, dipping your toe in the dark side, and giving it a go to build your dreams. Thanks for watching Joyrides with Jordan.